We have a full program this morning, 3 speakers. The first one is actually one of our newest associate members, a company called Web ROI, and they'll be talking first, followed by 3 people from TSSA to give us the latest on where TSSA is and how that affects us in the BPV side of things. And lastly, a speaker from the new Skills Trade Ontario to give us the lowdown on what's going on with that and how it's different from OCOT and how that affects us also. Following that, we'll be having lunch out on the patio under the tent, and then a shotgun start at 1 o'clock for those of us that are golfing. This time I'd like to introduce Jason Gervais, who is the president and CEO of Web ROI, which was founded in 2005 and has been one of the top WSI certified digital marketing agencies globally for the last 10 years. Jason and his team have helped many 7-figure companies grow their top and bottom lines with effective digital marketing strategies. And with a last name like Gervais, we might even get a few jokes out of him. You never know. Anyway, Jason, I'll call upon you. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you. Is my mic on? All right, appreciate it. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me today. My name's Jason Gervais, not Gervais, like Ricky pronounces it, and I'm not quite as funny as him, but I'll do my best. Thanks for joining me today. So I believe we have in the room a lot of business owners and leaders in the industrial and commercial HVAC. Is there anybody that is more in residential here? No. Okay, good. So we'll keep this mainly focused for your guys' interest. But we're a digital marketing agency, and we specialize in helping companies like you get better results, return on investment from your website and your online marketing, helping you stand out from your competitors. And we have a racing analogy. Guys like to drive really fast. I know I do. I took the 407 here, and I'm zipping along thinking, I'm going to be late, but if I drive too fast, I'm going to get pulled over, and I slowed down a little bit. Next thing you know, I saw the cop right on the right-hand side. I'm glad I did, otherwise I'd be late. So here we are. We're going to, today, so just kind of, give you a little bit more about myself. I've got my notes here in front of me. I started my business in 2005 as a WSI franchise. We grew over the years and became one of the top WSI franchises out of over 1,000 offices globally. And we rebranded ourselves back about, I think it was around 2015. A lot of companies that we talk to, they really struggle with their website, and especially in the commercial industrial space. You maybe don't even feel that it's necessary. It's not even that important to your business. But when it comes to any business, you've got competitors, you've got others that are trying to appeal to the same audience that you are. Maybe you're replying to RFPs. Maybe you've got long-lasting relationships that you can rely on. But when someone who doesn't know you, a buyer in a large company, wants to get an HVAC contractor into their space to either install new equipment or maintain what's there, they're going to be comparing you with your competitors. So it's very important that you do stand out. I just want to do a quick little survey here. Who, by a show of hands, who would say they're very happy with the return on investment that they've gotten from their website and online marketing? A couple of you. That's excellent. And who would say that they're pretty disappointed with the return on investment that they've gotten from their website and online marketing? Just one? Nobody's that disappointed? Well, the good news is that for those of you that are very happy, hopefully you'll learn some things that'll make it even better. And for those of you that wish you had a better result coming from your marketing online, you're in the right spot. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that are in the same boat as you are, and hopefully we'll give you something that will help you today. So there's a saying that says in racing, they say that where your car will go where your eyes go. The driver who cannot tear his eyes away from the wall as they spin out of control will meet the wall. The driver who looks down the track as he feels his tires break free will regain control of his vehicle. And I have a personal story. About 15 years ago, I have 2 older sons that live in Michigan with their mom, and I used to get them every 2 weeks and drive to Sarnia or Strathroy to pick them up. And I was driving down the 402, and it was snowing because it's always snowing there in the winter. And I'm thinking to myself, I was driving a Lexus IS 250, and it had the little downshift thing, and I thought, if I started to slip, if I downshifted, would it help me regain control? And for some stupid reason, it's snowing and it's not great weather, I decided to try it. I'm like, what happens if I downshift? And all of a sudden my wheels changed speed, and I just started spinning. And I went literally from the lane I was in, spinning like this, across 3 lanes of highway until I regained control. But all that while, I was looking where I needed to go and not looking at the ditch, because I'm sure if I was looking at the ditch, I would have hit it. Another similar example, many years ago, 25 years ago or so, I was driving a party bus, just one of those little short buses, and we were at an event in Michigan with a group of people, and it was another snowstorm, and I was driving the bus with everybody in it. They're all partying, and I'm driving in this snowstorm, going from one place to another, because it was like you were going to different people's houses for meals and party or whatever. And again, I applied the brakes and I started sliding, and there's cars right in front of me, and I'm just aiming kind of in between the cars, and fortunately I never hit anything. So the whole point here is what you focus on is what you will get. So today we're going to talk about where to focus your attention when it comes to your digital marketing and your website in order to get the best possible return on investment. So what does it mean to win the race online? What does that mean to you? Like, if you think about your business and you've got a website, presumably, what does it mean to win? What does that look like? Does anybody want to tell me what it would mean to them to win? Silence. Okay. I'll give you some hints. A lot of companies measure their success by the number of trucks they have, the number of guys they have in the field. A lot of times it's how much your top line is growing year over year, how much your bottom line is growing year over year. Maybe it's going from being on the tools, so to speak, or a technician yourself, to someone that's more focused on running the business, working on the business instead of in the business. Moving from or just having more full-time techs on staff that are out there in the field. Keeping your staff satisfied year after year, not having to lay people off. Having a greater market share and having a well-known brand name against your competitors in your market space. Having more of the right, ideal kind of clients that are coming to you. It's one thing to take, business, whatever comes along, and growing your business that way, but when you can really focus and have more of your ideal kind of clientele that are coming to you, that's going to help you sweeten the pot and really focus on the things that you're really successful in, where you thrive. And also, what about providing a better livelihood for your family, a future for your family, your retirement, and just being able to focus more on your own hobbies. Those are the things that a lot of clients that come to us are looking for, and that's how they measure their success, and they're looking to enhance those things. So our focus today is on return on investment from your digital marketing and your website. We're going to talk about some specific numbers, dollars and cents. A lot of the case studies that we have are in the residential space. We work with both commercial and residential customers. Naturally, there's a lot more business to go around in the residential side, but in commercial, there's certainly a much bigger opportunity for you guys as well when it comes to business growth. So a quick little story here. Does anyone know what their average cost per lead is? First of all, let me just back up. Is anyone doing just by a show of hands, do you do any kind of online advertising or marketing or search engine optimization currently? Some of you. Okay, very good. Do you know your average cost per lead? Okay. No, that's not uncommon. I mean, most people don't either have the metrics or they're just not really paying close attention to that. So I'll tell you a story about Climate Care. We work with the Climate Care group. They're a residential HVAC cooperative. There's about 30 members throughout Ontario. You may or may not be familiar with them. But we started working with them towards the end of 2014. We were at a HRAI conference like this, and my wife did a talk, and we ended up having a meeting with Climate Care, and they became a client of ours. So we've been working with them for about the past 8 years almost. When they came to us, they measure everything, and their cost per lead was over $100 per lead. And their goal was to get it to $40 per lead. And with everything that we've been doing for them over the years, we've gotten their cost per lead down to $20 per lead on average. And that's including phone calls and lead forms and everything that is coming to them as far as engagement through their website. So, and then within that group, over the years, we've been able to help them grow. And we've had, over the last, I guess, mostly during the pandemic, it goes back a little bit longer than that, but three or 4 years, we've had 5 of our clients get acquired. So we built their business to the point where they were able to be attractive enough for someone else to buy their business. I don't know if that's a goal of anyone in this room, but that is, certainly in order to make your business more appealing to a buyer, setting it up from a lead generation perspective is very effective. So this little pyramid here is, what is a pyramid? A pyramid is a structure. It's a very solid structure. It's firm, and it's unlikely to come crumbling down. If we have a big storm like we had the other day, this is probably one of the things that's going to stand the test of time. It's not going to be torn down. But it's very important that you build it in order. You can't start at the top and hope to have this wonderful structure. You need to have a solid base and then build upon that. So this is a visual representation of where we recommend to focus your attention in order to get the best return on investment. There's 7 layers here, or 7 steps, and one of them is actually divided in 2 steps. But we're going to go through that. As you're growing your business, they say that top line is vanity and bottom line is sanity. So how can you grow your top line revenue, but also focus on maintaining your bottom line profit, which is going to help you for the future of your business. This pyramid is just an illustration of how to focus again and how to grow your business and how to build that solid foundation going forward. So we'll start here on the bottom layer. And if you can't read that, it says conversion rate optimized website. So I'll just talk a little bit about conversion rate is the percentage of website visitors that take a desired action that you want them to take. So maybe that's calling you to get a quote. Maybe it's downloading some kind of guide or information thing that provides value to your reader and opts them in to your marketing database. So now you can market to them with email marketing and things like that. Or maybe it's just a quote form and they're filling out that form and then you're going to have your sales team reach out to them. But when you optimize your website effectively, you're maximizing the percentage of visitors that are taking that desired action. And this is something that is very commonly overlooked. Most companies will build a website that looks nice and not really consider the conversion optimization standards of how likely it is that they're going to get people to take action. I'll give you, just tell a little quick story. We just acquired a business in Calgary called Blue Ocean Interactive Marketing, and they're a web design company. Coincidentally, they started in 2005 as well. They're the same age as us. They're doing 1.2 million in sales last year, and they build beautiful websites. And we've been working now officially. We closed at the beginning of April, so we're about 6 or 8 weeks into this new engagement, and they mostly focus on websites, but they've been trying to do some marketing for some of their clients, and they're scratching their head. Why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? So then our team goes in and we're evaluating what they've done, and they're lacking conversion optimization. They're focused on the wrong marketing tactics to get the right audience to their doorstep. So it's really important that you set up your website. We actually use a 30-point checklist of all of the important factors that are going to make your visitors more inclined to take the desired action. This is very, very important. It's critically important. You can't just have a website and decide, oh, well, I'm going to send some more traffic to it. Because if you just send traffic to a website that's not functioning, you're literally spending money. You're just throwing that money out the window. You're not going to get the best value from it that you can. So, does your website need a facelift? When you think about that, first of all, how old is your website? Does anybody have a website that's older than 5 years old? Yes, yes, yes. If we're being honest, a lot of us would probably say yes. Does anyone have a cell phone? We all have a cell phone, right? Does anyone have a cell phone that's older than 5 years old? The same people. Technology, like this is the face of your business, right? This is your best foot forward. It evolves every day. I mean, technology is moving at a pace that we can't keep up with, and it's accelerating. So we recommend every 3 to 5 years, it's time to update. It's time to refresh your website, update the look and feel. Make sure you're appealing to the right audience. It may not even be working on the devices that people are trying to access it. So updating your website is critically important. Things you can look at from a statistics, one of the things we do is we always look at things diagnostically. We're using this racing analogy, so you got to talk to your pit crew. Who's your pit crew? Is it people on your team, or you're working with a company? Have them do a diagnosis of how your website is performing. What's the bounce rate? A bounce rate is when people come to the website and leave right away on the first page without going to another page, usually in less than 10 seconds. They're not really engaged with your content. We want to have a bounce rate that's less than 50%. If your bounce rate is over 50%, that's an indication of a problem. If people are spending less than 10 seconds, are they spending 2 minutes or longer? That's really good. If they're looking at 2 to 3 pages, that's really good. These are really important metrics to look at. And then you also want to look at navigation, how they're engaging with the website, and of course your conversion rate. As much as you can, try and track the percentage of visitors that are taking the action that you want them to take on your website, because that's where your return on investment is going to come from. Does your website convert into leads? That's really the bottom line. Does anyone have, again, by a show of hands, is anyone using metrics of any kind to track visitors to leads on their website? And can you tell me about the overall performance? So what have you found? Yeah. A 0.5% of your visitors convert into leads? How do you feel about that? Is what it is? Is your business growing at the pace you'd like it to? No? Okay. So do you feel your website doesn't really impact your business at all? Okay. Okay. Do your competitors' websites compare to yours, or? Yeah? Okay. How do you tend to get your business? All referrals? So when someone refers you, do you think that the person that was referred would go and visit your website to check out who you are? Yeah? Okay. And do you feel that it does a really good job of setting your business apart from your competitors? So? Could be better? Can only be better. Okay. Yeah, and that's typical, right? You guys are, let's face it, you're in an industry where you don't need a high volume of consumers to find you. And if you're getting a referral, you've already established a leg up. You've got that credibility that's been established by the person that's referring you in the door. But sometimes it's a buyer. Sometimes it's not the final decision maker. Sometimes there's all kinds of different elements that come into play. So setting yourself up and setting yourself apart from your competitors is really important. The other thing that I'll add to that, and I'll talk more about this later, is think about one of the biggest problems that, correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be, one of the biggest problems that I'm hearing in the industry is attracting high caliber staff and technicians in this industry and keeping them. And they're checking you out against your competitors as well. So it's really important to have a presence that's gonna set you apart. And then the other thing is not just attracting customers, but attracting your ideal customers. Think about your business. What is your sweet spot? What's the perfect kind of opportunity for you? You want to make sure that those are the people that you're appealing to the most. And when we go about designing websites, we're always looking at who are we targeting and what do they need to see and experience in order to get the feeling that you're the right opportunity or the right business for them to deal with. And then, are you maximizing those conversions and return on investment? You can't just rely on having people come to your website, do something, and that's it. It's best practice is always to maintain some level of engagement after the fact, and think about your conversion rate and diagnosing how you're getting the best return on investment, how you're getting the best bang for your buck and results from those web visitors. Let's say, for example, you had 2,000 visitors a month to your website. On average, you're going to get about 70 to 80 leads. According to the internet average, about 2 or 3% is the common conversion rate, percentage of visitors that will take a desired action on your website. So if you want to grow your business 3 times, if you want to get 3 times as many leads or opportunities coming to your doors so you can grow your business, how can you do that? Well, you can either triple your traffic by spending a lot of money on advertising and search engine optimization. You could do that, and hopefully you'll be able to triple it. Or you can just make enhancements to the web, the conversion optimization of the website, so that you're then going to increase your conversion rate. So in our office, we measure everything. We get an average of about 8 to 10% conversion rate. So right there, you can take, for that same 2,000 visitors a month, tripling improving your conversion rate optimization, you're able to get 3 times as many leads or opportunities coming to you as you would otherwise. And then it's really important, of course, that you're nurturing those leads, and we're going to talk about that as we go through this. So the next layer is, once you've got a great website that's going to convert visitors into leads and opportunities, how do you get found? How are you making sure that you're getting eyeballs that are finding your business? So there's 2 aspects to this, paid advertising and search engine optimization. Another example from Blue Ocean. They have a client that, it's a B2C business. They're selling mattresses. But they're a manufacturer that sells these wonderful mattresses. And Blue Ocean said, great, we're going to build you a website, and then we're going to try a TikTok campaign. And the customer is saying, why isn't this working? Because TikTok is not where you should start. People that are looking for mattresses are not going to TikTok. Maybe people that are on TikTok might see your ad and might need a mattress and say, oh, but you got to get a lot of people to see your ads before that's going to be successful. So we went in there and we said, look, we need to do some conversion optimization on the website, and then we need to do some Google advertising, actual people that are looking for what you have to sell. Make sure you're being found by them first before we get into the TikTok world of things. So most companies have a limited budget. They don't have unlimited money to spend on marketing and advertising. So our recommendation is first focus on where people are most likely to have an immediate need for what you're providing. And that's where you want to make sure you're being found on search engines by people that are looking for those things. Are you ranking on top? When it comes to ranking on the first page of Google, really there's only one guaranteed way to guarantee that you're going to rank for every keyword that you want to rank for in your area, and that's if you pay for it. Search engine optimization is great. It's the best form of long-term growth in marketing, but pay-per-click advertising is very targeted, and it's immediate. If you want immediate results, you can do paid advertising on Google. And these are the ads that show up whenever you search. I'm sure you've searched on Google and saw ad, and then the map, and then the organic listings beneath that. And you don't click, a lot of people don't click on the ads, and that's fine, you don't have to. But from 100% of the time, we know that those ads work. And as long as you're targeting the right keywords and the right geography, you're going to get clicks, and you're going to get visitors to your website, and then you're going to have a certain percentage of those visitors that are going to reach out and contact you. So it's very precision. It's very pinpointed. I use an analogy, and there's lots of analogies here because this is a racing analogy, but I also like to use the hunting and farming analogy. You know, when you need to feed your family and you're in the jungle, you're going to grab a weapon and you're going to go shoot something and hunt and bring food home tonight. It's immediate, it's short term, and it's quick. And that's what pay-per-click is. It's like hunting. You're going to go and feed your family or your business and their families tonight by hunting for that success. When you're running does anyone run pay-per-click campaigns, or have you in the past? Anyone? Nobody here. Really? Okay, that's great. That's fine. And you may not find it suitable for your business, again. But when you're doing paid ad campaigns, the quality is really important. Google has what's called a quality score. And the lower your quality score, it involves a lot of factors. They have an algorithm that calculates how high quality your campaign is set up, and it's the targeting of the keywords and how your landing page and the accuracy of the landing page with the keyword and the intent of the searcher and all these factors. But the bottom line is that when your quality score is low, your cost per click is going to be 400 times higher. Google benchmark is in the middle. But when you have a very high-performing, high-quality score, you're actually going to pay 50% less per click than your competitors. So that's a very important factor. If you're planning on doing online advertising of any kind, making sure that you have a high-quality campaign, that it's set up right. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because clearly it's not important to this audience. The other thing I would recommend is auditing your marketing. And this is where you can bring your pit crew in and do some analysis and measure what is your cost per click, how much is it costing you to generate business. Our data, working with home improvement companies, there's a lot of BDC stuff, but the average cost per click average cost per lead, so per lead generated from pay-per-click ads on Google was $30.19. So who wouldn't pay $30 to get a new customer, right? So the other half of this level of the pyramid is search engine optimization. And this is, back to the hunting farming analogy, this is the farming aspect. It's more of a long-term strategy. It's kind of like a garden or a farm. When you go in the spring and you plant seeds in the ground, you can't just come back in the spring or in the fall and expect that you're going to have this massive, flourishing crop. You have to do things along the way. It's not a one and done process. You have to continue optimizing and doing the things that are necessary to get the best results. And these tires are the analogy with the racing. When you're racing down the road and you want to win the race, you have these soft tires. They're going to grip the road. You're going to get there fast, but they're also going to wear out quickly. So you need to have both a long-term and a short-term strategy. And the long-term strategy is more of a firm tire that's going to stand the test of time. And that's what search engine optimization is. Search engine optimization involves making sure that the content on your website is targeting the right keywords, and there's an advanced process of in-depth keyword research and analysis, understanding what are people searching for that's relevant to your business, making sure that there's analyzing what are the competitive levels for those keywords. In other words, if you've got 1,000 companies that are all trying to optimize for the same keyword, that's really competitive. Where if you have 2 or 3 companies trying to optimize for a keyword, it's easier and it's faster to get yourself ranked for that keyword. So we usually recommend going for what we call long tail keywords, where there's 3 or 4 words in that query. So if you, for example, search commercial AC contractor, that's 3 words, right? But if you just search AC or air conditioning, there's going to be a lot more competition for the word air conditioning than there is for commercial air conditioning contractors. And then if you add a city to that, commercial air conditioning contractors Markham, for example, you're even more narrow, and you're much more likely to rank for that. So then if you're trying to target businesses in different communities, you can go for commercial HVAC contractor Markham, commercial HVAC contractor Richmond Hill, commercial HVAC contractor North Toronto, or North York, or whatever the geographies that you want to target are. So focusing on the right keywords, doing the right strategy. And it's not just what you do on the website that's important. Building backlinks is important. Having fresh content is important. Making sure that you're constantly keeping your content updated. The best way to do that is with a blog, which I think we're going to talk more about. One of the things I'll talk about SEO is and I can relate my Blue Ocean story again. Search engine optimization is something that most people have heard the word now. It's been around for 20 years. But not everybody really understands how detailed SEO needs to be or should be. And you might buy a website and the company that sells you the website says, yeah, we do the SEO. And then you launch your website and you might rank for some things or your company name, but you're not really noticing significant growth in your traffic or your revenue for that matter. And that's because, again, it's not a one and done thing. You can't just go and do SEO and say, okay, I'm done. It's something that you need to do repeatedly over time, or continually over time. Blue Ocean, for example, great web design company, they do SEO on all their client websites. But all they do is kind of the surface level SEO. They don't do the deep dive keyword research and analysis. And they're not optimizing for multiple keywords. They're not optimizing each page for individual keywords that they're trying to target. And those are the strategies that you do when you get a more advanced level of search engine optimization. You're really doing a much more robust search engine optimization strategy. And the thing is, as my business grew, we kind of took a focus on search engine optimization and driving for results. That's why I rebranded my company as Web ROI. The return on investment is the heartbeat of everything we do. So Web ROI has only really built websites for the clients that we're working with that are driving for results. Blue Ocean, on the other hand, builds websites all day long, and they're not really focused on results. Sure, they want to do a good job and get good results, but they've always sold SEO. And the average consumer doesn't know the difference between what they're getting when a web design company sells them a website with SEO and when they are really working with an SEO company that specializes in that and gives a much more advanced level of optimization. So it's really important that you're doing your homework, looking at some analysis, looking at some case studies, and really, if return on investment is important to you, and it may not be, a lot of you guys, you get your leads from referrals and you're happy with the way things are going, and that's perfectly fine. But if you're looking to aggressively grow your business, search engine optimization, adaptive, advanced search engine optimization is what you should be focused on. And I talked a minute ago about fresh content. The best way to keep your content fresh on your website is by having a blog. Nobody's got time to blog. I don't have time to blog. Well, that's what we do for our clients. And maybe you can hire a writer in your company or work with a partner. But it's important to be providing valuable content that your audience would enjoy. And that doesn't mean that everybody is going to read everything you write. But what it does is it educates your audience. It provides credibility. It reminds Google that you're alive because you're adding fresh content, and Google, the more you add fresh content to your website, Google's going to visit your website. Google spiders, robots, crawlers, whatever. They follow links and they find your website, they find the new content, and they index it. They put it in their directory. And I'll talk more about that in a second. But it's important to you can't just build your website and walk away from it, come back to it 5 years later and think it's doing anything for you. If you haven't been adding content, it's not going to be very effective for you. So a blog is the best way to add fresh content to your website on a continual basis. And then I just mentioned the idea of having indexed content and discovered content. So if you put your new content on the website, Google could label it as discovered, but that doesn't mean that it's actually indexed. You want to make sure that your content is getting indexed, and there's techniques that you need to address in order to make sure that's happening. It's like having your content is going in the Google library versus Google library being aware that you have content. You want to make sure you're in the library, that when people are searching for what you have, they're able to find your business. Links. Links are really important. We want to make sure that high value, high quality websites and resources are linking to your content, linking to your website. It's a vote of credibility for your website. It helps you rank better for the keywords that you're targeting, and it helps you establish more credibility to your audience. Your Google business profile, I don't care whether you're B2C or B2B, this is really, really important. You need to have it, first of all, claimed. So claim your Google business profile, and then put some valuable content in there, keep it updated, and have it optimized. And that's something that your partner or your pit crew or your digital marketing supplier should be helping you with. Once you've got people that have visited your website, they're engaged, they've found you, they like you, they're converting, they're not all gonna buy from you immediately. And even if they do, you wanna maintain a relationship and keep educating and maybe even upsell them a few things that you might have to offer. So it's important to be using nurturing tools like email marketing, or even what do they call it? Automated marketing. So you've got a tool that can have sequential emails automatically sent out to them periodically based on their preferences and things like that. But email marketing, does anybody do any email marketing in this room? Some of you? So it is really important. It's a great way to stay top of mind to your target audience and provide them with valuable information. You can include case studies, you can include whatever. There's all kinds of information and valuable things that go on in your business that I'm sure you can share with your audience. And it comes down to nurturing those relationships with your current customers as well as your future customers and people who are considering doing business with you. It's very important in Canada that you follow CASL guidelines. You can't just email everyone. You need to make sure that they're opting in, they've shown interest. That's why we recommend on the website, when we're talking about conversion optimization, one of the things we always offer or usually offer is a valuable downloadable guide or checklist or some sort of thing that someone that's visiting your website would say, oh, I'm interested in that information, and they will give you their email address and opt in, so then you can communicate with them going forward. In Canada, we're not allowed legally to email people as a business that have not given us permission to email us. I know you all get spam all day long. It's all illegal, but it happens. It's not the best thing to do for your business if you want to set yourself apart from competitors, unless you want to give yourself a bad name. Next level up is retargeting. So this is important. You've all probably seen this. Somebody, you go to a website and then that website sort of follows you around. You see these ads popping up as you're looking around the internet. You're reminded, oh yeah, I remember that company. So keep in mind that when you have a good converting website, you're still gonna get only about 10% of those visitors that are going to engage with you. So 90% of them are not gonna engage with you. So that 90% have the opportunity now to see your ad following them around as they're doing other things on the internet. So you're able to stay top of mind that way. And the likelihood that they're going to come back to your website after seeing your ad becomes much greater. And we know that the conversion rate on a second visit is higher than the first visit. So yeah, we've talked about retargeting your website visitors, and we're coming to the end here. Getting to the top of the pyramid. So this is where we don't really recommend starting with, if you got a 5-year-old website and you're like, my website's old and it's not working anymore, I'd like to try some social media marketing. It's not where we would recommend to start your business. With a limited budget, we recommend start at the bottom and build your way up to the top. Social media can be effective, especially B2B on LinkedIn when you're looking at talking, networking with other business owners or attracting quality staff can be very valuable, but I would not recommend starting there because we want to make sure that you're getting found by those people that are searching first. And then once you're building up to this, getting into managing your social media, doing social media advertising. I don't think that social advertising would be effective for any of you in this room. Maybe LinkedIn if you're doing some, certainly for staff. But Social media is important to have a presence, particularly on LinkedIn for your types of businesses, but I would not recommend starting there. And then, this is actually, this is funny because this is our top performing social media post ever. It's a picture of a dog, and everybody loves dogs. Nothing bad happens when you nap, and the acronym NAP is name, address, and phone. It's really important that you have a consistent name, address, and phone for your business on every mention of your company throughout the web, because otherwise it could confuse Google. So if your company is ABC Company Limited, and it's spelled limited and not LTD, make sure that you have it exactly the same every time, same address, same phone number. Make sure you have that consistency because you don't want to confuse Google. But people that engage on social media, they're socializing. They're LinkedIn aside, LinkedIn is more B2B focused, but advertising your wares on social media is not necessarily going to attract that business owner that has a blown out AC unit and needs service help right now. And then we talk about display advertising right at the top of our pyramid. It's no different than just plastering signs all over the place. And it can be effective, but you need a lot of people to see that repetition of your brand before it really starts to pay off. Some of you may be in companies that can benefit from a lot of brand exposure and recognition, but it's usually not where we recommend to start. We always recommend, that's kind of your awareness advertising. We recommend that you focus first on the lower levels of the pyramid. And then, that's the display advertising. And then, so I wanted to talk about your next great hire. And this is my last point that I wanted to make. Has anyone over the last year and a half struggled to hire good staff? Anybody struggling with that end of the business? Yeah? So that's really common. The people you're hiring use the internet. They use it a lot, and they are going to evaluate your business against your competitors. So having a very solid employer careers section on your page, listing your job openings, optimizing that page for career, the keyword careers in your industry, making sure you have good quality content. We're also an Indeed partner, so we have a partnership with Indeed. We can help companies with their hiring. Having in the Indeed platform, they have their, it's kind of like a mini website. It's really important that you do that. There's a paid version. I recommend the paid version if you're struggling to hire people. It costs less than what you would spend to hiring a recruiting agency, and you're gonna set yourself apart from your competitors. Doing pay-per-click advertising on Indeed is very effective as well. We do it for our own business when we hire. We just hired 3 staff within the last 2 weeks, so I can attest that it's effective. If you're not making your business stand out, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna continue to struggle to hire good quality staff because everyone else in this room is competing for the same people that you're competing for. So if staffing is an issue, that's something that is really important to address. And if you've got a 5-year-old website and you're struggling to hire, I can suggest that there could be a connection between those two things. You need to make yourself look like a top-notch company in order to attract those people to your business. And folks, I think that I'm coming to the end here. If you pull out your phone and scan this QR code, it's a little bit off the screen, but if you can't catch it, let me know. But if you'd be interested in a diagnostic of us just kind of checking out your website and giving you some recommendations and telling you how you're performing now, just take a picture of that and fill out your information. If you can't get it, is there a way we can just slide the image over a tad? Or yeah, so if you go to Web ROI, it's just a contact us page. Go to webroi.ca, go to the contact us page, just fill out the form there and I'll reach out to you and I can give you a diagnostic, let you know how you stand, and if we can help you out, that'd be great. Any questions?
The analytics you talked about for websites, the measuring the bounce rate, the conversion rate, some of the other metrics, how do you get that? Is that something that's provided by your website designer, or is that separate software? I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah, so if most websites will have Google Analytics on them, and you can get all that data through Google Analytics. Now, most companies do not set up Google Analytics the way that you can, which is to track conversions. When we set up the analytics, we're actually tracking how many visitors and how those visitors are finding you that are completing the goal you want them to. So we can track how many people call the number on the website, how many people fill out the form on the website, how many people download. You can track navigation, but it's all embedded within the Google Analytics platform. And again, there's different levels of how that can be set up to track different things. Any other? Yeah.
What do you think a chatbot on website help or hinder?
Chatbots can be beneficial. Of course, the best engagement is a live human being, but chatbots can help. They can answer questions. They can get people more engaged, and they can. It's like when you come to a website. So just to, in case you're not familiar with chatbots, you come to the website and it's like a live. You feel like there's an attendant that's saying, "Hi, how can I help you?" And you ask it a question, and it spits out an answer. A chat bot is like an AI that gives pre-canned answers, and it would just sort of kind of sequentially lead people through to, well, let's have a rep call you, right? So it's a good way to get people engaged and convert that lead into an opportunity. But if you've got a live human that's doing that, naturally that's a lot better. So we have some clients that use chatbots, some clients that use live humans. Live humans always result in a much better outcome. Any more?
I've got one more. The optimization you talked about, I've always been confused by the fact that if everyone in the room is doing the same optimization, who wins?
Yeah, that's a great question. And because we have some clients that are in the same industry. Well, we have lots of clients that are in the same industry, and in some cases in the same geography. Like we work with about 30 residential HVAC clients, and some of them overlap somewhat. Who decides ultimately is Google. It comes down to all we can do is all the things that we know are important to Google. But Google, at the end of the day, it has an algorithm that calculates hundreds of different factors, and it's constantly changing and evaluating what is the most relevant website in the world for this specific key phrase. Years ago, I did this funny thing, and if you search it, you can, but if you go and search, who is the smartest guy in Canada? I come up on page 1. Because I did a blog and I said I'm the smartest guy. I'm not the smartest guy in Canada, but Google thinks I am. And then I did some things. And for the last 12, 15 years, I rank on page 1 for smartest guy in Canada. CBC had a show called Canada's Smartest Person. So they beat me because it's CBC. But the fact that it's still there it's kind of just a funny thing because no one searches that term. But because I optimized a page and did a blog for that keyword, I rank for that silly thing. Google thinks that website, that web page is the most relevant web page in all of the world for the smartest guy in Canada. So that's all you need to do. I mean, that's what SEO is making your website the most relevant for a specific keyword phrase. In order to do that, you have to do all these things right. And if you've got two companies that are competing for the same term, one of them's going to win and one of them's going to take second place. But I don't decide that. I can only do the things that are relevant. And at the end of the day, Google is going to decide who gets preference. And there's so many factors. It can be just because maybe company A has more other websites talking about it than company B, right? And I can't control that. I can't always control that. I can help get company A more links, more websites that are linking to it, but I can't do that all by myself. I can't control every aspect of it. I can only do the things that are necessary to improve the results. Does that answer the question? Excellent. Anything else?
What you offer, is there a lot of different tier platforms that
Yeah, because we deal with all kinds of different businesses. So we have, sometimes it's just simple, build a website and host it, especially the Blue Ocean. Like that's what they do. They do hosting, maintenance, and web design. And then we offer what we call digital marketing partner programs. So a lot of companies don't have the budget to hire an in-house marketing person, much less a whole department. So we have 22 staff, and we act as your digital marketing department. And we do everything. We do everything from, we can design brochures and trucks and logos, websites, all the way down to writing content, search engine optimization, measuring it all. And so complete end-to-end services, and it's fully scalable. Anything else? Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate the opportunity.